Before I begin, I just want to mention that I don't score shows that I've dropped. I feel it's a bit unfair to score the entire show based on one episode. Not that me scoring really matters, the show is sitting moderately high at a 7.36 on my anime list, 8.39 on live chart, and of course 4.5 out of 5 stars on Crunchyroll. However, one episode was enough for me to see that this show is either going to be bad or at the very least it's just going to be another mediocre show. So the show starts us off with some good old political corruption. Anyways, this guy who's probably the boss of the secret organization isn't having any of that and proceeds to send or make a calamity that levels the island and leaves the insignia of the organization. We can more or less assume that this is the A plot of the show or the real story of the show, but of course the focal point of this scene isn't so much the corruption and politics, but rather the secret organization Mr. Park is in and the power they have, because clearly they're able to level out an island. But they could have demonstrated this in a more interesting way, in my opinion. This painting mural thing was the only thing that seemed somewhat interesting to me. Interesting fact, the boss of the show, or at least what I'm going to consider is the boss of the show, at least at this point, is named Mujin Park. And according to my anime list, the director of the show is called Shunhu Park. And the original creator is named Yonji Park. Lots of parks in the making of this anime. Also in the opening credits of the anime, either my anime list or Crunchyroll messed up the spelling of the director's name. Or there could be more parks involved in the show. We then get the opening of the show, which honestly it sounds like a worse version of the Razor Mind song on Payday 2 if you've ever played that game. Not to mention they at least use like 30 seconds from this episode in the opening. I wouldn't mind this too much, but it's not like they took multiple scenes from the show, like different episodes and stuff. They just copied and pasted 30 seconds of fighting from this actual episode. I don't know, for me it's just like you see twice the same scene on episode 1. However, what bothers me the most is while watching this episode, these scenes feel out of place. Everyone just starts showcasing their strengths in a very choreographed way. Almost as if these scenes were made for the opening and were just inserted to the show to save time and effort. They just added the opening into the show. We next get a flashback backstory kind of thing with the MC talking to his Gramps. Nothing of note here except Gramps saying he can finally go to school. I don't know if he's referring to him being old enough now to attend school, or if there was a reason that our MC couldn't attend before. Maybe I'm looking too deep into this. Probably am. I guess this is as good as a time as any to talk about the art style. Not the biggest fan. I've seen lots of shows pigment the elbows and knees with some pink, but I don't believe I've ever seen it on the nose and ears, or at least not as prominent. Speaking of ears, have you seen them? They look like clover ears. I doubt it's from biting, but rather an artistic choice. Also, the MC's eyes. I'm assuming they'll explain this later in the show. If not, then I guess it was just an artistic choice. So after the dream, flashback, backstory kind of thing, we finally start the B plot, or what I think is the B plot. The All Styles Martial Arts Tournament for students, the God of Highschool. We then get this whole entire scene, which is really just there to introduce all three characters to each other, and of course to us the viewer. MC wakes up late, sees grandma getting her purse stolen. He goes after the burglar. He gets help from the other two MCs. Yeah, and cool guys, you guys all became friends. Now which of you guys is going to pay for all of this mess you guys made? Also, Also, this guy's rap sucks, and his English comments are worse. Also, what happened to you being late? Let's just stare at each other intensely, you know? Just why not? So finally we get to where the tournament actually starts. Wait, is this guy just reacting to the event? Buddy, I hate to tell you, but you're gonna get a copyright strike. Anyways, the tournament begins, and this big nose guy tells us the winner gets one wish granted. This is a very vague prize. It's probably just so the writer of the show can probably pump out all these backstories of what they want and what's their reasoning. We also get told that every type of martial arts is allowed, including weapons, which sounds cool in theory, because we get to see different fighting styles clash, but in reality this is kind of stupid. If I'm a professional wrestler, I'm not going to beat a professional swordsman. Screw overcoming the odds. I want an even playing field so I can win. They also explain to us that the bracelet monitor vitals with the help of nanomachines that were inserted into the fighters, which seems pointless. You already had told us that other than a surrender, the only way to win is by knockout. I'm pretty sure you don't need to monitor vitals to see an unconscious person. I'm guessing this is where the show gets its sci-fi tag from. Unless the show does something with the nanomachines later in the series, the bracelets are absolutely pointless. This self-advertising feels so out of place. Like, I'm so used to seeing fake brands when you watch anime. Like earlier in the show they had moonbucks, so it feels odd watching actual brands in a show. We also learn later that these bracelets show the level of the fighter determined by their strength. This is also stupid. Why would you go through the hassle of gathering weak levels when the tournament would be better off with strong people of the same level fighting to see which can go beyond that level? Something similar to how the A Certain series does levels. So why keep these weaklings? Oh, that's right, so the important people can beat them up and showcase how cool they are. We finally get to the fighting, and it's a battle royale. People start beating the weaker levels. Again, unfair playing field. This whole scene is for the viewer to be like, oh my god, did you see that? Wow, I bet you she's strong. Also, this guy, what are you? Too cool to care? By the way, this is the choreographed scene in the opening that I was talking about. It's literally watching a scene twice. You can see how it just feels somewhat out of place. It feels so choreographed. Like they knew what they were doing. We learned that our MC fought this guy, Commissioner, to get recruited. It alludes to the fact that our MC was able to injure him, which is supposed to sound cool, but we know nothing about the Commissioner. They probably are strong, but for all we know, this guy might be the weakest of them all. This could have been saved for later in the series when we know more about these people, but I guess they wanted to rush it so we can feel like the MC is a lot stronger than he seems. We then get a latecomer join the match. A man from the Seoul Reformatory. I don't know if I mentioned that the story takes place in Seoul, the capital of South Korea. Probably because the creator of the show is from South Korea, so I guess that's an interesting fact. Anyways, this is as good as a time as any to talk about how 90% of these fighters in this show don't look like students. Especially this guy. They didn't even try. I thought this tournament was called the God of Highschool. Keyword high school. Most people look like they're in their 20s and 30s. And I get that anime does exaggerate ages, but so far in the show, no one seems like exaggerated to the point where you can justify this. It just feels like they didn't even try and they just made a bunch of people look like adults. Like our three MCs look like teenagers, but the rest all look like adults. They didn't give this man a 20% handicap. Why? I thought this tournament was to find the best. He immediately starts beating up some extras before he settles down on this guy's face. Mira, the female MC, tells him to knock it off and starts fighting with him. Why? I get you're supposed to be a good person, but this is a battle royale in a tournament. These people agree to come here. Mira, worry about yourself, or at the very least, just worry about yourself and your friends. Mira does okay before the Mori jumps in and pulls this guy's pants. Insert comedy tag. This was only done, I believe, so Mori can say that Mansoko's pants are heavy. I'm guessing this is supposed to be similar to what Goku and Rock Lee do with their clothing and training weights. Mansoko kicks Mori away, Mori gets a surprise hit in, and the episode ends with them about to clash. If episode 2 has them clashing the whole entire episode, then I guess this is a good way to end the episode. We next get the ending theme, which was not my style, but it was okay. So ultimately, this episode just didn't show me the potential of a good show. The story seemed like a mess, the characters didn't impress me, I wasn't really entertained. I'm not a big fan of the art style. The opening was bad in my opinion. The ED was, like I said, not my style. And the animation was okay for the episode. I feel that if I continue watching the show, I'm just going to be left disappointed at either a bad show or a mediocre show. Having said that, I can't fully judge the entire show based on one episode. So I'll leave it up to you guys. Is it worth watching the entire show? It recently just finished, so I can just watch them all and speed run the whole entire show, or is this just an average watch that's not really worth my time? Let me know down in the comments below. Who knows, I might just end up liking the show and making another review on it, or I might hate the show and make another entire review on it. Let me know if you guys would like to see that as well. Also, let me know if you personally like the show or if you hate it. Let me know the reasonings why and why not. I just want to mention before the episode ends that this is just my opinion, so don't take it too seriously if you do like the show. Also, remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on another video. Thank you for watching.